Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at the other independence party, Alba, led, of course, by Alex Salmond. They have one MSP, two MPs, not many supporters, very little money, and they're both impotent, powerless, and indeed pointless. They are trying to introduce a private members bill via Regan, their only MSP, and she needs support from, well, other parties, effectively the SNP, to push this members bill forward. She needs 18 MSP backbenchers or ministers, doesn't matter who, 18 MSPs from the SNP to sign up to push it through. And all of them are just laughing at her. They're saying, no, it's got no chance, it's pointless, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, that's firstly very odd that the SNP would laugh at someone else for introducing a pointless and stupid bill when they've done so many themselves. But I also think it's a bit rich that Regan, a woman who is, let's face it, not particularly bright, seems to think that the SNP are going to help her at the same time as her boss is suing the SNP. Boom! You can't get past this level of stupidity. But we're going to attempt to try. Here goes. So it is from basically the headline says it all. Alba to beg Nats for indie bill support while insisting Alex Salmond's legal case won't hurt. What? Of course it's going to hurt. He's taking on the SNP. The SNP are just going to go, no, we're not going to have anything to do yet while this case is going on. There's also the fact that the SNP don't really want to legitimise Alba by actually acknowledging that they exist. Like I say, she's the only MSP for them, and she only did that, or they've only got one MSP because she crossed the floor. Nobody's ever voted for them. They have zero support. And I know he does have a few supporters, but that's only because he's managed to convince some poor schmucks to join his party in the pretense that he is now still a powerhouse of Scottish politics. But he's just taking their membership fees as a salary. He's not actually doing anything with it. And of course, they can't. They've got no influence whatsoever. Even the two MPs, as I say, they also crossed the floor. Again, nobody voted for them. And yet down there they sit in Westminster at great public expense and achieving nothing. They can do nothing. It seems very, very weird. But, of course, this is Scottish politics. It's full of weirdness and wonderfulness. And, of course, Alex Salmond is trying to set himself up as this sort of grand elder statesman of Scottish politics. When he is no such thing. He's a very divisive person who's had some very stupid and weird policies over the years himself. And of course, he is a bit sort of tainted and damaged goods. You know, so he can't really be that elder statesman. And I would want to make a clarification. I do not mean anything to do with his court case that he won. That is not on there. Not mentioning it. Well, I am mentioning it, but I'm mentioning it to say I completely... no, he was completely exonerated, and I accept that. I have no qualms about that, and I infer nothing. He is an innocent man, and I truly believe that. I'm not just saying that in some kind of ironic way. I truly believe he was an innocent man. I truly believe he was set up deliberately to destroy him by, and I think Sturgeon probably. And so that's why he's suing. So I'm actually on his side on that one. But I just want to clarify that. But this plan that Regan is trying to say is just not going to work. This private members bill needs all these people, and how bad is it when even the SNP are saying no? Anyway, Alex Salmond and Regan have today launched yet another bid to break up Britain, with a plan for a referendum on whether or not Holyrood should be given power to legislate for independence. They also issued a begging plea for fellow nationalists to back the move. However, it comes barely a week after Mr Salmond announced he is taking the Scottish Government to court and alleges malfeasance by various past and present officials. The former First Minister and Alba Party leader hit back at the suggestion that this will hurt the bill's chances of being picked up by similarly minded MSPs. Of course it's gonna hurt. The bill for a referendum has been branded nonsense by an SNP source. Now, if they are branding it nonsense, you know it isn't going to happen. And Regan is sitting there now going, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? I've jumped ship out of pique, out of anger, out of stupidity. I've come and joined Alex thinking, I'll lead the charge and lots of people will join us. And nobody is joining them because Alex Salmond is the busted flush. He's finished in politics. He will never again no power. They'll drag him out as a pundit on a show every now and again. He gets his £500 expenses or whatever it is. But that's basically all it is. It's not a lifestyle. And he is getting on a bit now. And he's out of touch, I think. And he's certainly out of touch with the Scottish people, the majority of whom don't want independence. And they certainly don't want really anything to do with Alex Salmond. Now, I'm not saying, that he's bad or mad or anything, but he's just yesterday's man. And I think that's the saddest thing you can say about a politician. That's when they truly know that they're finished. When people look at them and go, oh yes, he used to be somebody. Oh, that's got to cut, hasn't it? It's got to cut to the quick. Anyway, getting back to Ash Regan. Already, the bill for a referendum has been branded nonsense, as I say. Miss Regan admitted at Thursday's press launch that she has so far no support from MSPs. Hardly a surprise. And she would need at least 18, while sending a plea to Humza Yousaf and his ministers to back it and move the stalemate. Well, she'd have to shout a lot louder. He's busy in Dubai spending public money for no reason whatsoever, except so that him and his current squeeze can have a good time. Anyway, she said, I want to send a message to the Scottish Government and Humza Yousaf. The bill that I'm proposing today has the capacity to bring the whole and peasants together. What? I know what she means. This is someone who's recorded this and played it through and got a computer to type it. The whole and peasants. I think she means the whole independence movement together. For heaven's sake, peasants. I tell you what, we are living in a world that is just lacking any kind of intelligence. Does nobody read this before they publish it? Anyway, she said, so instead of pushing the immediate future of independence into the hands of Westminster, put it back in the hands of Scotland. You can say all you like, you can push all you like, you don't have the power. It's a reserved matter. No matter what you pass at Holyrood, it won't change the fact that it's Westminster that that has the final say. Anyway, addressing the content of a proposed bill, she said it is Alba's party's policy that at each and every election, Scotland should be offered the choice of voting for a mandate to negotiate independence. Never going to happen. You can vote for it, ain't going to happen. In that case, also, can we have a mandate, a chance of voting for a mandate to remain permanently in the union? And let's see if they like that. Of course they won't like that. You can't have one without the other. So, democracy's a bugger, isn't it? Especially when you're on the losing side of it. Anyway, she said it is unlikely to happen at the coming general election, since neither the SNP nor the Greens support that proposition and have rejected the Alba Party offer of a single Scotland United candidate standing in each constituency seeking that mandate. And why should they? The Alba are a busted flush. Alba are nothing. They might just, and I mean literally might just get one MSP on a list. No constituency is ever going to vote for them. And they, like I say, they may just squeeze one as a list MSP. And even then, it would be lucky. And who would it be? It would be Salmond, wouldn't it? So that would be Ash Regan out of politics for the remainder of her political career. You've got to say about Ash Regan, she has quite literally jumped out of the frying pan into the fire. But she's trying to escape from the Titanic in a leaky sieve. Put it that way. Either way, she's going down. She's sunk, isn't she? She said, however, there is nothing to stop our Parliament proposing a referendum. Well, they can propose it, but nobody's going to listen, which we believe would be within competence. Yeah, proposing it is within your competence, but okay, we propose a referendum, and Westminster are just going do-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Are you listening to us? No, do-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and carried on. Nothing. They've got no bearing. These people don't understand how impotent they are, how they don't have the power to change this thing. Constitution is rested only and solely with Westminster, and they know that, and that was the basis at which the Assembly was, set up in the first place. They had to assign and agree to those rules, which they did. End of story. Deary me. Mr. Salmond also attended the Edinburgh launch and asked if the plan was unlikely to win SNP support. Given his latest legal action, he said, "I'm not suing the SNP. I'm suing the Scottish Government. On the summons, there's not a single member of the current administration, for example. But there is a broader point. You don't have to agree with people or even like them to cooperate with them." Well, that's just as well, isn't it? Because not liking them is standard fare in Scottish politics, because they're all particularly loathsome creatures. Anyway, he goes on and he moans and does a bit of politicking, but he's basically there. He's trying desperately to put himself forward and be in the public spotlight, and so people say, oh, look, there's Alex Salmond, the great saviour of Scotland, rather than, oh look, there's Alex Salmond, a sad old has-been in the twilight of his career, desperately seeking to remain relevant and in the news, and in doing so, try and earn some money. Coming up. So there you go, another desperate politician looking for a desperate policy for raising hope for a desperate cause. A cause that most people are actually against. And despite what they say and the fervour and enthusiasm with which they throw themselves at their cause, people were remaining unconvinced. And they will always be unconvinced because people vote with their money. And an independent Scotland will make them poorer. And they know that. And they're not stupid. They also know that once they come out of the UK, they're alone in the world. And it's a big, nasty world out there. They're not protected by the big boy next door. The big boy next door is saying, no, you're out on your own, mate. And they won't be joining the EU anytime soon. So what's an independent Scotland to do? Well, simple. Fail. Fail as a nation state. Fail the economy. Fail the people. And most people in Scotland know this, which is why they very wisely remain part of a United Kingdom. A United Kingdom with a long, proud, shared history. A United Kingdom that has fought many wars on the side of right and might. And yet they want to throw that all away. The shared heritage we have, they want to throw away. Simply because something happened 600 years ago that they don't like. These are sad, sad people. They're literally living in the past. Rather than trying to live in today's world and look and strive for the future. And the future is not a divided world. The future has got to be a united world. Not one of division and hate. One of hope. There's no hope in independence. There's no hope in separatism. That way lies madness. Thank you very much for watching. We'll move on to the next subject. Lots more to do today. So I appreciate your viewing. But if you are yet to subscribe, please do so. Strengthen the channel. And we will talk to you later.